What is up, everyone? It is Silvertip or Dan back for another review. This is again in anticipation for the It Goes Up tour. We just got done doing our video with Nate on his favorite tech album, which is KOD. Now we're here with Brad to talk about one of his favorites, and possibly, is this your favorite?
I'm not sure if I'd call it my favorite, but I can definitely define it as the most recognizable for me.
That's fair.
This is N9ne's Everready. Something about red hair, something about high points. First and foremost, I'm gonna do this to you again. I don't know if I'd call it a high point. I'm really not sure if I'd call it a low point. I'm caught on this idea of the song Caribou. Great song, don't get me wrong. Obviously, Tech's, fucking one of Tech's biggest, probably the biggest song, considering it's his only platinum, if I remember correctly. That might have changed in the last year or so. Not 100% sure, but great song, did wonders. Personally, I don't like it anymore. Way overplayed.
That's fair. It's kind of crazy how a song all about his favorite drink is his most popular and the one everyone goes to. Whereas when you listen to songs like we were talking about earlier, like This Ring or Low or My Wife, My Bitch, My Girl, off this album, it doesn't seem like it deserves the top spot. And yet it just is awarded it because it's the most accessible. I understand. I feel that way.
I wouldn't even go that far as to say that it's not even the most prominent song off of here. I think it would actually stand out. Like from the original time I listened to this album, I was already set in bad motion for the song. If I could go back and reset it all, I think Caribou would still stand out as a very high point song on the CD.
It definitely plays into the party vibe of the album for sure.
Most definitely. Yeah, not gonna lie, I love being able to just throw this CD on in my car or in my fucking at-home stereo and just listen to it thump along as I'm tediously cleaning or whatever. It keeps me energized, keeps me pumped up and going. I genuinely love the aspect of the CD. I really do.
I do too.
I want to say it was something you brought up earlier in a video we shot for my channel, as well as it was probably talked about in your last video that you had with Nate, about how his last CD before this was more heavily shrouded in darkness, I guess would be the wording to use it. It definitely had more darker pretenses than this one.
And even this one, coming off of Absolute Power, there was a lot of hatred in Absolute Power, a lot of backlash toward the industry, and it was definitely a lot of piss and vinegar for Tech. And then he jumps into this one, and they just survived a car crash, coming out of Billings, Montana.
And that's where we're going for their concert.
Yeah.
That's where he's going for the concert.
Oh.
I unfortunately will not be making it. Sad.
Yeah.
Sad.
Tech, Kriz, Cut, Big Sean, their driver, and someone else. I think it was one of their. Stage technicians. They flipped their van 5 times. They really should. Even the doctors said it's amazing that all of you survived. It's even more amazing how you all survived, without even hardly any bodily damage. It's kind of like the Unbreakable effect, but now they're just kicking it. They're just having fun. It's every day is a party. Basically they just want to spend every day like tomorrow they could die, because that whole mortality thing after experiencing an event like that, it can really change your perspective and change your songwriting. So this one definitely feels a lot more lighthearted than Absolute Power does, for sure.
As well as, can't remember if I want to say it's Riot Maker. He does this big intro part talking about how he dedicates this song to his...
Brian Diesel Dennis.
And
that's the name.
Yep. One of our coworkers actually just recently enlightened me about a song in regards to the whole story behind him and the other guy, behind Tech and him. And for Tech to actually turn around, have this experience, and literally have the next song corresponding after that, being like, you know, basically, we wish you were still here. We do dedicate this to you. You know, you are supposed to be here with us. You are still here with us in our hearts, basically. So I think that's really amazing. It's heartfelt in such a compassionate way once you actually look at the details of what has happened. So to have a song or a CD more around the idea of living every day like it's your last, and the first genuine song that comes on, you're dedicating it to this your friend, your buddy that just passed, whether it was I don't know the exact time frame of, you know, an initial incident between dude dying and this CD being released, but for that to still accumulate and to be there is really something. It really goes to show that even though Tech at his darkest of points is still a human being.
And it's not like there's no emotion on this album. There totally is. Songs like "Come Gangsta," "My Wife, My Bitch, My Girl," moments in "Riot Maker," like you said with Brian, and like when that incident happened at one of his shows where someone got injured at one of his concerts because of the really, really chaotic atmosphere that they bring. It's a real party at his shows. We've seen these before. Someone got really badly hurt and sued him for $100,000. Like there are still like things here and there that are like really N9ne for $100,000. And of course you've got your harder hitting songs like "No Can Do." You've got you know, the Jelly Sickle ones talking about the haters and shit.
You have your two actual straight up more or less party songs in regards to "About to Bubble" and "Caribou."
Mm-hmm.
So
even "Welcome to the Midwest," I would argue, especially with the production, like the beat behind it. And I kind of get sick of it. Like it's a song that I hear every single time I see Tech live. I've seen him 5 times now, and every single time that's one of the songs I hear. I don't understand how. I only heard "My Wife, My Bitch, My Girl" once.
One time. I damn near creamed my pants when I heard it.
Oh, I know. I was right there next to you when it happened. Oh, that was a good show. He played a lot of good stuff that he normally wouldn't. But Clusterfuck, Tormented. Oh, I'm so excited to review Angelic. Well, now I think it's time to go ahead and just pick out our favorite songs off the album. Which ones would you say are the best, and which ones would you say are the ones you play the most? Pick 2 or 3 each. Just highlights, basically.
Top 2, probably 3 and 4, "No Can Do" and "Welcome to the Midwest." You and I have actually talked about this one a lot behind the scenes and at work and whatnot. Alternatively, some lesser ones for me, not really there. I can't necessarily say there's a lesser song on this album that I would more pass off than the next. "Caribou" being the odd exception, but back to this whole, it was overplayed. It still comes across every now and then, and I still do listen to it and respect the song for what it is. But with that, you know, to both, realistically, would be both those songs. Most played and top 2 off this album would be "No Can Do" and "Welcome to the Midwest."
I think the ones I definitely take to the most on this album, "No Can Do" is a big one. When I saw Tech Strictly Strange 2017, Chris's intro was "No Can Do," and I hadn't heard I had heard the song before, but it was one of those situations where it's like when you first hear the album and you're not thinking like of the tracks or whatnot, you know that what you're hearing you like.
Mm-hmm.
So when you hear it later on and you get the song, then you go back and listen to it, that's when you really fall in love with it. "No Can Do" was one of those. It was definitely a big one. I think the next one would actually be a skit. It would be "The Melancholy Maze." And I would argue, you can't really separate Melancholy Maze from My World. Like I could almost see them as one song. They flow together like that, just like the pickup and In the Trunk on
Right.
KOD. Which My World, honestly, probably one of the best experiences I've had with this album live, because I heard Brother Lynch's verse and I heard Tech's verse.
There you go.
That was nice.
There you go.
Actually, that was Brother Lynch's intro. But best songs, I would say, are probably Riot Maker. Like, not only is it a song that literally like covers everything, like everything Tech had on his mind came through in that one song, which is always great. And also, I would say it totally is the perfect live song. This is one I hear every single time. This one I wouldn't take out. I think this is one you need at a Tech show. This is a crowd pleaser. This is a crowd energizer. And the party's not the same without it. Everyone knows it.
I'd have to agree with both it being a crowd pleaser and being an energizer. But for me, that's kind of what made that song not as prominent. It kind of falls under the same category as Caribou.
That's more than fair. It's not too far behind with like how much it's been played with Caribou.
Right. It still stands out though. Great song. Not gonna lie.
9 out of 10. Not one of my higher ups. I love the album, but overall theme and aesthetic, I love other ones a little more. Simply, great album. It's not bad at all. It's just
purely the album. 10 out of 10.
Yeah, that's. I don't know. A few filler tracks that I don't really vibe to. I think The Beast is kind of overrated. I love the album. I really do. It's just if you're to ask me what would you rather listen to, like in terms of theme, what we got on special effects, something else, KOD, whatever. More likely than not, I would choose some of those albums over this one. This is still a great album too. But yeah, it's an important album. I love it. It's just not top 5, but it doesn't have to be. That's all I gotta say. I think that's about where you.
No words are coming to mind, Daniel. So, I mean, it is what it is.
There. Well, that was it, guys. Thank you for coming by and checking out our review. I will have one more up for Tech before the It Goes Up tour, before we move on to other artists for this tour. And, yeah, that's all I got for this one. Later, guys. Thanks for joining me, Brad.
As always.